Hey, welcome to Mama's Manager, our career reentry series. We're in part 3. We've talked about choices, we've talked about rediscovering our strengths, and this week we're looking at resumes. I know we've all created one at some point, whether it was in high school or college or just at a career transition, but it's always a good time to take a look at that resume and maybe spruce it up a little bit. So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick tips on how to make your resume shine, starting with the career objective or your summary. Now the most important thing is that this is going to change with every single interview, job that you apply for, opportunity you're pursuing, because you're going to tweak it based on what it is they're looking for in the position. But it's good to have some verbiage in there that talks about who you are, what your strengths are, and what you're passionate about, and then you can just make small changes when you go to adapt it for a specific situation. The second thing I would like you to look at is your experience. And some of you say, oh man, I have this huge gap in my experience. What do I do? That's just a red flag for employers. And I would say it doesn't have to be, and it probably isn't a huge gap. Just because maybe you haven't been doing exactly what you did in before, that doesn't mean you haven't been doing anything. This is where you need to add in your volunteer experiences, maybe it's part-time work, anything that you've been doing needs to go in that experience section. A couple things to think about though. If you are pursuing something that is vastly different than what you did in the past, it's okay to group that experience accordingly. I have a huge section on my resume that is specifically teaching experience, and then I have a section that's business experience. So it just depends on what you've been doing and what you plan to do in the future. Also, I see resumes constantly that just talk about what they did, what was their day-to-day responsibilities in their job. I want you to think about what were the accomplishments that you did while you were in that position. I currently work for a law firm here in town, very part-time, and I thought about, okay, what are the things that I think that are important to what I want to do and that were accomplishments, and I wrote down a web design that I helped them with redeveloping some of their content, some of their client relation projects that I worked on, like an open house I helped coordinate. Accomplishments, think accomplishments as you're going through that. One of the other things I'd like you to think about with your experience, if you have things that are really old, they've been around on your resume for quite a while, it's okay to pare those down into a very brief paragraph, just to indicate so they can see how much experience you have, but then it doesn't jam up the resume and take the focus away from the things that you think are maybe more important. So those are just a few quick tips on building your resume, rebuilding your resume, and just kind of brushing the dust off of it so that you are ready when those opportunities come knocking on your door, or you see something you can't pass up. You don't have to scramble around to fix your resume. It's already ready to go. Thanks, and have a great day.